Hey everyone, welcome back to another art vlog. Hi, I'm Charlotte. For those of you who are new here, I'm a digital artist and an aspiring writer. It's always the intros that make me think who I am as a creator and a creator because my facets of identification are not too justifiable sometimes. And so I ponder upon whether I am truly a writer or a digital artist at that particular moment. But today we are diving into something different where I thought I'd share with you on what it is to practice art as well as to learn your own style and what it is to learn and use what's been learned. That was the primary purpose of this video. And what better way to do that than to share with you recent art studies that I have been working on. Also, I do have an update. For those of you who are new here, this might not make sense, but I am working on a webtoon series and it has been dragging for so long because I work on each piece like it's an artwork in itself. And after finishing chapter 1, after a year, I have now come to realize that is not how I am supposed to be working on the piece, but on each panel, rather, to put it more precisely. I have learned that you work as a larger story, and that has extremely helped with my perspective on creating webtoon chapter panels, because it is now not about the singular panel in itself, by itself, but rather is an articulation of a bigger story. Anyways, so because of that, it has become more comprehensive and more consistent in its creation. That's a little update with the webtoon. I hope you will look forward to it when it comes out because it's almost going to be a decade since I first started having this novel idea. Let's see how it goes. So this piece that you see on screen is again a very webtoon themed artwork in the sense that it reflects the webtoon colors. In the first part of the webtoon that I'm currently working on, chapter 1 of it, to be exact, these colors have a bright significance, is how I'm going to put it. I think a lot of the panels from the webtoon are there in my previous videos, so if you want to know more about them, you can definitely check it out. The reason why I sort of savored upon this piece with regard to intention is because I think after a point I felt a bit stagnant where my art studies weren't reflective of any sort of growth, but rather just mere observation and replication in my own art style, of course, but the layer of depth and intention had minimized to a good extent. So in order to retrieve that in this piece, I thought of being more intentional because I think I took like 4 to 5 different references for an image that I had in mind so that it would be more reflective of my creative process and what was going through my mind rather than just it being a story of an art study, basically put. So in this piece, I think I wanted her to have a more dynamic moment, because dance is something that is so beautiful and it's so hard to capture on paper, but when you really observe it, you can understand the intensity of it. And although it is not fully representative of the art form, I hope that through this art study I would be able to represent that a little bit better, of what that intensity contains, if that makes sense. So that was the goal behind this piece, and I love this color palette. This color palette is not something that I have been using in the recent past, and so for it to pop up like this is refreshing to me, because they are all my favorite colors put in one, and my sister's favorite colors as well, because she loves these colors. I had to mention that, otherwise she'd cancel me. Oh, this is something that I just thought would be fun, as in edit. I put that in because I've come to realize that even with these vlogs, which aren't vlogs per se, they're just time-lapse videos where we're catching up weekly on art and everything else. So for better editing skills, that was your gentle reminder that practice is good. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I used to design quite a bit, but those come in waves, the waves of design, when the skill is needed for practical purposes. Otherwise, I don't show my design skills. Y'all are well aware of that. But on that note, I also wanted to talk about how important it is to sometimes retrospect on how far you've come. Not in, I did this by myself, not in that sense, but rather as a measure of progress. Because especially when it comes to things like art, moments of retrospection are needed to qualify your quantitative work, if that makes sense. Also, I have to add, I have an exam tomorrow, but I thought I'd record this because I'm done studying, and without a break, I would add, because I've been going at it from last night, and it's been around 15 hours, and I was getting to a point where all the information was going above me. So I thought I'd sit down and record this video, because my articulation is relatively better when I have consumed a lot of reading. That's how I'd put it. But yeah, I think that's also why I sound tired. In case y'all are thinking that I'm going through something, no. I just have my exams. Oh, I forgot to mention, there is a video that I recorded with my face in it to show my paintings, canvas work, and there's also another video of when I traveled to Gujarat. I wanted that to be the first face reveal, but whichever video comes first would be my face reveal. I hope you'll be excited about that. But I think it's time for the whole of who I am as a person to come out on YouTube instead of just art. And the voiceovers is a bit constraining because I'm more animated in video, and I didn't realize that until I had to record myself with mini vlogs for the travel itself. So I hope you look forward to that. I hope I'm also not digressing too far from this, but in theme with today's video, I wanted to address that as well, because part of retrospecting led me to understand that I cannot go on with however I am continuing with these videos. It has to be a step further, because otherwise it's just time-lapse videos and then there's a voiceover and then there's music. But how are we growing together? Yes, this is supposed to be a chill back storytelling time, and where it's authentic content and behind the scenes, but at the same time that shouldn't be restrained to just this one point of improvement. And that is exactly why it's indeed essential to retrospect. That was the point that I really wanted to make. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped you to also think about why it's needed to look back and reflect and really collect your thoughts. This is the final product of this piece. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can find me at Charlotte_Pourquoi. Bye!